Australia isn't just kangaroos and koalas. It's a land full of wild surprises and unbelievable facts. Seriously, what you think you know about this place is just the beginning. We're talking about a continent island country that has mysteries you won't believe. And today we're going to explore the absolute craziest ones. From lakes that are naturally bright pink to giant worms that are literally longer than your arm, Australia is hiding some of the most insane secrets on the planet. This isn't your average travel documentary. This is a deep dive into the weirdest and most wonderful things down under. Did you know there's an entire town built completely underground to escape the heat? Or that the Australian military once declared war on a bunch of emus and actually lost? It sounds like a movie, but it's real history. Whether you're obsessed with extreme nature, super rare animals, or just bizarre geography that seems impossible, Australia has something that will blow your mind. The facts we've uncovered for this video are so strange they sound made up. But I promise you, every single one is 100% true, and we have the footage to prove it. This video is going to bring you the coolest, strangest, and most jaw-dropping facts from down under. We're not just telling you about them, we're showing you. We've packed this video with insane footage and stories you won't hear anywhere else. So grab your Tim Tams, get comfortable, and hit that play button, because you're about to go on an Aussie adventure that is unlike anything you have ever seen before. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss a single second of this. Let's get into it. Alright, first up, let's talk about something ridiculously massive. You've all heard of the Great Wall of China, right? It's one of the most famous structures ever built. But what if I told you Australia has a fence that's even longer? I'm not kidding. It's called the dingo fence, or sometimes the dog fence. And it stretches for an unbelievable 5,614 kilometers, or 3,488 miles. That's like driving from Los Angeles to New York City and then some. This thing is so huge. It's one of the longest man-made structures on Earth, and most people don't even know it exists. So why would anyone build a fence this gigantic? The answer is simple: to protect sheep from dingoes. On one side of the fence, you have the southeastern part of Australia, where there are massive sheep farms that are a huge part of the country's economy. On the other side, you have the wild outback, home to Australia's native dog, the dingo. Dingoes are apex predators, and to them, a field full of fluffy sheep looks like an all-you-can-eat buffet. To stop billions of dollars in livestock losses, Australia undertook this colossal project starting in the 1880s. It's a literal line in the sand, separating the wild from the farmed. Maintaining this fence is an insane, never-ending job. Imagine having to check a fence that's thousands of miles long for holes or damage. There are dedicated patrolmen called boundary riders, whose entire job is just to drive along sections of the fence making repairs. They fight against sandstorms that can bury it, floods that can wash it away, and animals like kangaroos or wild camels that can crash right through it. The scale is just mind-boggling. It's a silent, constant battle being waged in the middle of the desert to keep two different worlds apart, all because of the hungry dingo. Okay, from a massive fence to something straight out of a fantasy world. Imagine you're flying over the Australian coast, and you look down and see a lake that is bubblegum pink. Not slightly pinkish, I mean bright, solid, Pepto-Bismol pink. Your first thought would probably be that someone spilled a giant vat of paint. But this is 100% natural. Australia is home to several of these incredible pink lakes, with the most famous one being Lake Hillier in Western Australia. It sits right next to the deep blue of the Southern Ocean, and the contrast is absolutely stunning. It looks completely unreal. So what's the secret? Why is it pink? For years, scientists were stumped, but now they have a pretty good idea. The color comes from a perfect storm of microscopic life living in the water. The lake has an incredibly high salt content, even saltier than the sea. This extreme environment is the perfect home for a specific type of algae called Dunaliella salina and some pink bacteria known as halobacteria. To protect itself from the intense salt and sunlight, the algae produces a reddish-pink pigment called beta-carotene, the same stuff that makes carrots orange and flamingos pink. The crazy part is, the water stays pink, even if you take it out of the lake. If you scoop some up in a bottle, it will still be a vibrant pink color, proving it's not a reflection or something on the lake bed. It's the water itself. While some of Australia's pink lakes change color depending on the season and temperature, Lake Hillier stays pink all year round. It's a perfectly balanced, bizarre ecosystem that creates one of the most stunning and weirdly beautiful natural phenomena on the entire planet. It's like nature decided to do some abstract art. Imagine it's the middle of summer and the temperature outside is a scorching 50 degrees Celsius or 122 degrees Fahrenheit. It's so hot you could literally cook an egg on the sidewalk. Now, imagine living there. Most people would say no way, but the residents of a town called Koalas in South Australia came up with a genius solution. They just moved underground. I'm not talking about basements, I'm talking about an entire town. Homes, churches, hotels, and even bars, all carved out of the earth to escape the brutal desert heat. From the surface, Koalas looks like a dusty, deserted landscape with a few buildings, but the real action is happening beneath your feet. This all started because of opals. In 1915, a teenager looking for gold accidentally discovered the world's richest opal field right here. Soon, miners from all over the world flocked to this remote desert outpost to seek their fortune. They quickly realized that living on the surface was almost impossible because of the extreme temperatures. So they started using their mining skills to dig their homes, called dugouts, into the hillsides. These underground homes stay at a constant, comfortable 23 degrees Celsius or 74 degrees Fahrenheit all year round, no air conditioning needed. It's the ultimate form of natural climate control. Today, more than half of Koalas' population lives underground. You can visit underground churches with beautiful carved altars, stay in an underground hotel, and even play a round of golf on their grassless golf course, where players carry a small piece of turf with them to hit off of. The homes are surprisingly spacious and modern on the inside, with all the amenities you'd expect, except for windows. It's a surreal and fascinating example of human ingenuity, a community that literally carved its own world out of the rock to survive and thrive in one of the harshest environments on Earth. This next story sounds like a joke, but I swear it's a real part of Australian history. In 1932, the Australian government officially declared war on emus. Yes, emus, the giant, flightless birds. And the most unbelievable part? The emus won. This event is famously known as the Great Emu War. After World War I, the government gave land to returning soldiers to become farmers in Western Australia. But their timing was terrible. The Great Depression hit, and to make matters worse, a massive mob of around 20,000 emus migrated into the area, looking for food and water. These emus were destroying everything. They trampled crops, knocked down fences, and ate tons of wheat, threatening the farmers' livelihoods. The farmers, who were former soldiers, pleaded for help. So the Minister of Defence, Sir George Pearce, decided to deploy the military. He sent a major with 2 soldiers and 2 Lewis machine guns, the same kind of guns used in the trenches of World War I, to deal with the emu problem. They thought it would be an easy victory. They had machine guns, the emus had, well, nothing. It was supposed to be target practice. But the emus turned out to be genius military strategists. They were incredibly fast, running up to 50 kilometers per hour, and they didn't flock together in a big, easy-to-hit group. Instead, they split into small units, making them almost impossible to target. The soldiers would open fire, and the emus would scatter in all directions. In one attempt, the soldiers used nearly 1,000 rounds of ammunition and only managed to kill about a dozen birds. After a month of being completely outsmarted and humiliated by the birds, the military withdrew. The media had a field day, and the whole operation was declared a massive failure. The emus had officially won the war. Okay, for our final fact, we're going from giant birds to something that lives deep in the ground, and honestly, this one might be the creepiest. Everyone knows what an earthworm is. They're small, slimy, and you find them in your garden. But in a small part of Victoria, Australia, there's a type of earthworm that is an absolute monster. It's called the giant Gippsland earthworm, and it can grow up to 3 meters, or nearly 10 feet long. That's longer than most humans are tall. These things are so big you can supposedly hear them moving underground. These giant worms live in a very specific, small area with wet, clay-like soil. They spend their entire lives in elaborate burrows deep underground, so they are incredibly rare to see. You're not going to accidentally dig one of these up while planting flowers. They are extremely fragile and their skin can be damaged easily, which is one reason why they are a protected and endangered species. The loss of their habitat due to farming has made them even rarer. Finding one is a once-in-a-lifetime event for most researchers. When people first discovered them, they often mistook them for snakes because of their incredible size. They are not only long, but can be as thick as your wrist. They make a weird gurgling, sucking sound as they move through their waterlogged burrows, which is apparently loud enough to be heard by people walking on the surface. It's a strange, almost alien-like creature living right under our feet. Australia is truly a land of extremes, where even the earthworms are supersized and sound like a plumbing problem. It's one more unbelievable secret from down under. And that's it. 5 facts about Australia that are so insane they barely seem real. From a fence longer than the Great Wall of China to a war that was lost to birds, this country is on another level. I literally want to fly to Kubapeti right now and see one of those underground houses for myself. Which of these facts blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely curious what you guys thought was the craziest. Was it the pink lakes or the 10-foot-long worms? This video was so much fun to make, and if you enjoyed it even half as much as we did, do me a huge favor and destroy that subscribe button. We post videos like this all the time, exploring the most incredible and unbelievable treasures the world has to offer. And you don't want to miss what we have coming up next. Every single subscriber helps us go to crazier places and uncover even more amazing stories for you guys. So if you haven't already, subscribe right now, I'll wait. Also, hit that notification bell so you're the first to see our next video. We have some absolutely massive ideas in the works that you are not going to want to miss. Thank you all so much for watching. You are all legends, and we couldn't do any of this without you. We'll see you in the next video.